So for today's session, we don't have really too much to cover, but it's very necessary that we finish our syllabus on time. So I want to discuss two important things. Number one is a number of strategies to acquire a software or a system. How do we get a new system? So number two, we'll be discussing how you move from the current system to the new system. This is what you call migration strategy. So now let's look at the numbers of strategies to acquire a new system. So how do we get a new system? So there are three options available. So basically when you need a new system, you either you develop what you call a custom application in-house. So you have a people in your organization, and these people have enough capacity and the capability to develop the system from scratch in-house. Number two, you can say, hey, I'm looking for stock management system, and this system already exists and is available on the market. So this is what you call a packaged system. So you can go out and buy a system and make some customization. So this concept is what you call commercial off the shelf. So I don't know if it is your first time to hear this one, but it's referred as a commercial. So you understand what you mean by commercial? Ignore the line there. Commercial off.
Shuka imyenda yawe mfure turifotoresha iki
Commercial off the shelf.
za bruze gusa yego
So commercial off the shelf. So somebody
profe wacu urumva creating a meeting yitwa Joy ari umugabo.
So joyeuse. Oh my God. So I can a bit. I was referring to the concept of packaged solution, which is a system developed, available in the market. You can simply go and buy it and customize it. So this is what we call commercial off the shelf. So you can browse and see quotes commercial off the shelf. So if you go and buy like a Microsoft Word, this is a commercial off the shelf. The product exists and it's available on the market. What you do, you simply buy it and customize it. Sometimes you use it without the customization, and it's much cheaper than developing something from scratch. So I'm very convinced if somebody asks you to develop like a word processing application, so not exactly like Microsoft Word, because we have an open source version of Microsoft Word, which is open project. So it will cost a lot of money. But when you go out and buy a Microsoft package, you pay less than $200. So you understand that this option is good as well. Option number three, it's when you rely on external vendor or external developer or any external service provider to build the system and give you the system. So that's the case when you don't have maybe enough people in house, so you don't have the skills, but you want a system. So you come and you contract somebody who has the knowledge and experience to make sure that he buys or he develops the system for you. So in the custom development, simply what we say, we develop a system from scratch, from requirements gathering, requirements analysis, all of those stuff you did from scratch. And the good thing about this one, that's what you call the plus. Plus is like advantages. The plus of custom development, it allows developers to be flexible and creative in a way they solve a business problem. So your people will be flexible, because if you buy like a Microsoft Word, you cannot say save icon is not clear to me, change this icon, right? Because it's already a solution which is used by many people, But if you have like a people developing it for you, you can tell them, I don't want a save button or save icon to be like this. So the flexibility will be there, and the creativity. Creativity means what? You allow your developers to think and innovate and create something new. So it also allow to take advantage of current technologies. So I don't know if you guys are aware of which technology was used for developing Microsoft Word. But for sure, if you want to do it today, you will go with Java and any other latest technologies, right? So it gives you that advantage. And number three, it helps your people to have or to develop their technical skills, because once they develop, they face some challenges. Once they face some challenges, they can document, so they can build some technical skills and functional knowledge within the company, within organization. So if you have the questions, you feel free to post your questions in chat room. All right. So okay. So the consequence or disadvantages of custom development, I think you need to know this. You need to have a very dedicated people, dedicated effort that include the long hours and the hard work. So you need the people to be dedicated. They need to work so many hours. They need to work hard. You find your people awake maybe 2 a.m., 4 a.m. So they need to work very hard. And you need to have a variety of skills. You remember what we talked about, the skills that are involved in software development, from a business analyst, from a communication, from architects, from a database experts, from back-end developers, people who can write the code for business logic. You can need the front-end developers, people who can make a good interfaces. So you need the variety of skills, and the very high skilled people are very difficult to hire and retain. So if you get like a good guys, you are not sure how long you can keep them. So, and the risk associated with building a system from the ground can be quite high. So eventually, more than 90% of the system developed from scratch so may fail because of a number of reasons. All right. So if you don't meet the deadline, for example, people will drop the project. That's a fail. If your people leaves the company, you have like a 5 experts, they leave the company for whatever reason, the project might fail. So the probability of succeeding while developing a new system from scratch is very quite low. So that's why people will prefer to go with a packaged solution. If you know the system exists, make sure you have documented your business processes. Make sure the system fits your needs. So if you go for that option, I think you understand you are very much secure. I can't give you the contract to develop Microsoft Word version, whatever. No, it can give you like a 10, 20 million USD, but still you will not be able to deliver something which is comparable to existing Microsoft package, which I can buy at maybe $400-500. So you understand the logic. Okay, so here we are in a packaged software, and this is what I referred to as a commercial off the shelf or COTS. So many organizations buy packaged software that has been written for common business needs. So the same example, word processing. So it's there just for people to write some documents. Okay? Or spreadsheet. If you need to do some calculations, you know Excel, the way Excel works. So those systems are there for common business needs. Anyone will need that kind of a system. It can be much more efficient to buy a program. This is what I was saying. It's more efficient to buy than creating. It can be much more efficient to buy a program that have been already created, tested, and packaged. So packaged system can be bought and is installed quickly compared with a custom system. So if you need to buy a word processing application, if you buy from a Microsoft, I think after paying, it may cost you maximum 1 day to have the application up and running. But if you need to develop like a Microsoft Word, how many years you need? Think of 3 to 4 years to develop application of the features like a Microsoft Word. So now you understand the beauty of packaged software. Also, packaged software can range from a small single function tool. When you talk about a small single function tool, small system in summary, like a stock management, like attendance management, those are small systems. But also can be a huge or bigger system that we call ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. So if you work with some institutions, you will hear people talking about things like a SAG, SAG Pasteur. This is one of the example. Those are the systems which will have so many modules and they can serve the entire organization. So you can have like a module of human resource management, dealing with attendance, leave management, salary, payroll, whatever. Can have a module for stock management. So mainly dealing with in and out. Can have a module for procurement if you needed to procure something. So you understand this system ERP, it's a big system in any organization and it can serve all the departments. If I'm working from administration, I have my module there. If I work from human resource management, I have my modules there. If I work from a procurement, I have my modules there. So everything in one system. So one problem of packaged software is that the companies utilizing a packaged software must accept the functionality that is provided by the system. So this was what I was saying. If you buy Microsoft Word, for example, you cannot tell them, "I'm not interested probably in layout or whatever." So all the features available, you have to accept them as they are. There's no way you can suggest any unwanted feature to be removed. And in most of the systems also, they allow for customization or the manipulation of the system parameters. That's why you see, in most of those systems, the level of customization we can have, it's only to do something in terms of preferences. Like you can change like a background, you can change font size. They put some parameters so that you can customize it. But in terms of development features, whatever, don't expect other things. So a custom breed add-on program that interface with the package application called the workaround can be created to handle special needs. So if you need to have like interface or integration between your system and the other systems, so we use what you call add-on programs. So you can make like additional modules to help your system interact with other systems. That's why you will see now you install like Microsoft Word, you see maybe something like a PDF is included. So that means there's an interface between Word and the maybe Adobe, whatever PDF solution you use. You can see something, some more cases you can see some link to maybe Zoom. That means what? There's a linkage between the system and the Zoom. So that can happen through what you call add-on program, also known as workaround. Okay, so we have another category that we did not specify, which is called the system integration. System integration means what? I think this is a common approach now. So you need to buy like a system. You have your feature, you have your requirements, and rather than developing a system from scratch, you look at different existing legacy systems and you create a new solution by integrating or combining them. So yeah, so combining them and integrate them. So for example, I need a solution to manage my school. The solution needs to have option for online conference like we are doing now in a Zoom. System needs to have like human resource management, attendance, whatever. So you can go out and buy a very good HR system, and you go out and buy a very good video conferencing solution like Zoom, WebEx, whatever. And rather than developing each component from scratch, you focus on integrating those solutions, and as a result, you create a new system from those integrations. The key challenge in systems integration is finding a ways to integrate the data produced by different packages and legacy systems. So how will you make a database to cater from the data from Zoom, for example, or WebEx, and the data from there is one open source for HR called like Orange HR, Orange HR management system. I think it's Orange HR, whatever. You can browse it. So how are you going to store this data? So that's the key challenge people will face. But that's why we're talking about the strategies of acquiring the system. So you can acquire a new system through systems integration. And the outsourcing, it's straightforward. What does it mean? Yes, I want a system. I can't make my terms of reference. I can't develop it myself. But what I can do, I can trust someone like who? I can trust someone, whatever X, and ask this guy to bring a system for me. So this guy can either develop it from scratch, that is a custom development. This guy can buy, commercial off the shelf. So what I care for is to get a system from this guy. That's the meaning of outsourcing. I do not want to do this work. I want someone else to do this work for me. So that's what we mean. So outsourcing firm or company, they are also called application service providers. And also you can get this concept of software as a service. This is common and very important. So when you acquire the system as a service, what does it mean? It's just a subscription. It's a subscription. So for example, if you buy Zoom, so now we're using a free version, but if you need to buy Zoom, you can't have it as your application. You subscribe and you pay like a $300 a year. All right. So the Zoom solution is given to you as a service, not as a proprietary system, as a service. So you have to pay this money, I think, every year. So if the year ends, they will remind you to pay again. If you don't pay, they stop the service. You can't use the Zoom. You can't log in. That's the point. So outsourcing has some advantages. Number one, you can understand it's low cost of entry. You don't need a lot of money to get the solution. As I was saying, $300, you get Zoom for 1 year. What about developing your Zoom? You may need like 1 million USD, and you are not sure if it can be like this Zoom we know. And also short setup time, because it's only just configure, it's just only creating your account and activating your account. So the risk of outsourcing, yeah, compromising confidential information, because you, the like Zoom for example, if they want, they can monitor what we do. So the data in a system, everything they can see. So this is a security issue. Compromise on a confidential information, and you don't have a control over future development. So we don't know what Zoom company is planning for next year, right? And also, if you have like your expert in-house people, yes, there will go, because they cannot sit without developing, right? So you can lose your important skills of in-house professionals, because they are not working, they are not thinking, they are not innovating, they are not creating new things. And the good thing is here, don't really outsource something you don't understand, right? So you make sure you understand what you want, then you'll be able to outsource it. And you need to choose Carefully choose an outsourcing firm with a proven track record. So if you need to choose a company to source your work, make sure that you are choosing a company with a good track record, good experience, and history and credibility. All right. So there are three types of outsourcing a contract. There is what you call time and arrangement. You pay for whatever time and expenses are needed to get the job done. You can pay for the time and any other expense to get the job done. And there is a fixed price contract. And also there is what you call value added contract. Here the outsourcer will reap some percentage of the completed system's benefits. So value added contract. All right, so those are the strategies to acquire a new system. Now quickly let's discuss how you migrate from old system to new system. So now you have acquired your system, like can it be any, can it be student management system, can it be human resource management system. So let's say you have acquired the system, then how do you convince, how do you move, or how do you convert from old system to new system? So we have we have some approaches. One is to go with the direct approach. Two is to go with the parallel approach, then the single location approach, and the phased approach. So we discuss each. So the first one here, it's what you call direct. You can see here, it's direct installation. So today we are using our old system for student management system. This is our old system. So this is today probably, and we have started installing a new system for managing a student. So we finish by this time here. Yes, this is T1, this is T2. So before T1 we were using all the system. Between the T1 and the T2 we are using okay, I said what? Before T1, this is T1. Before T1 we've been using all the system. Between the T1 and the T2 we still use all the system, but we are also installing the new system. Testing is over, everything is over. So once we're done with the installation of the new system, we immediately stop. We stop the old system and we continue with the new system. So this approach is not good because number one, if you have like operation errors, we have a big impact on the users on the organization. So take example of the bank. Bank has been using a system A and they decided to bring another system B. So after installing system B, the next day, in that night, what they do, they migrate some data from all the system to the new system. But the next morning, they give a communication that they are going to use a system B and the system A is no longer in use. So what happens if they use the system maybe from morning and maybe around 3 p.m. They figure out that this system has so many errors. So they need to go back to system A. So what happened with the transactions bank did from morning to 3 p.m. So it can have a huge impact. You understand it? The banks, they receive a lot of people. You find the people queuing there every second. They receive new guys. So the impact can really be high. But the beauty of this one, lower cost, because you simply shut down one system and you continue with the other system. You probably not even need to keep those servers. And it may be the only system if all the new system cannot coexist. So you can use this one if the two systems cannot work together. The highest interest in making installation a success. So this is a direct approach. We think you understand it. The second one is the parallel installation or parallel approach. So what happens? So we are using our old system up to here, and from here we start installing a new system. So we finish installing a new system at this point. See what happens. For some time, both new system, both the new system and the old system, they are still in use. Maybe this is a T1, this is a T2, this is a T3, and this is yeah. So between the T2 and the T3, both the systems are in use, but after T3, the older system is completely shut down, and the company will continue using a new system. So this approach is very good because both the systems can coexist, and it can minimize the impact caused by minimize error impact, because all the system will still also be in use and process any data, and then by using the two systems in parallel, the new system can be checked against older systems. So this is the best approach, by the way. So you take like 1 month and you run both old system and the new system. So gives you the flexibility to compare the results of the two systems, and after some times you can decide to completely shut down the old system and continue with the new system. So the risk is that not all the aspects of new system can be compared, and it's very expensive because there is a duplication of effort to run and maintain the two systems. And again, it can confuse user, because one user knows that I have to use this system and also do this in this system. So but the option is good if you need it to be secure in terms of moving from old system to the new system. So if you understand those two approaches, now the next one is what you call single location, which is also known as a pilot approach. So you have many locations. Look at Auka, for example. You have Gishushu, you have Masolo, you have Mogonelo, probably. So single location means what? You introduce a new system in one location. All right, and you use your system in a single location. After some times, now you are sure that the system works well, you can take it to some other locations. So look at this picture. So, and it can go with direct approach or parallel approach as well. So, but in this example, we are using a single location installation with direct installation. So now you see, this is location 1. So look at it as like Gishushu. So after deploying a new system and stopping all the system, the company or the campus uses, the university uses a new system. For sometimes they figure out there is no error, there is everything works as expected, then they can introduce that system to another location. So this is now let's say we take it at Mogonelo, for example. So this is what you call a single location approach, and as we said, it can be with direct installation or parallel installation. All right. So the next one is what you call phased installation. So what does it mean? So you don't deliver the whole system, you go phase by phase, and each phase is what you call incremental or staged. So you can look at it in terms of module. So you use the older system and you finish maybe installation of one module of the system. Which module? Maybe payment module. So you install that module, and then the company will use the older system without payment module. They use this system without the payment module, and for the new system they only use the payment module. So maybe, okay, from here to here. So maybe here again for the new system you introduce the second module. So which means for the new system you will have 2 modules up to this point. So the company will use the new system only 2 modules, module 1 and the module 2, and you continue using all the system without those 2 modules as well. So you can go like this one module wise, and this is what you call phased approach, and it allows the for the development also to be phased. Each phase is small and more manageable, and the risk will be spread over the time. So what are the risks? Old and the new system must be able to work together and share some data, because maybe you have a payment here in this module, but human resource, that is staff identification, still in all the systems. So the two systems need to be in a position to work together, yeah, which likely will require extra programming to connect the two systems. So to connect the two systems here is what you call integration. So the two systems need to be integrated. All right, so this is the theory that we normally discuss towards the end of the course. So we did discuss a lot in this course, and this is always our final topic in theory. But we are not yet done, so we'll be coming here every Friday again, because we need to discuss also the project and the assignment I gave you about DFDs, data flow diagrams. You remember that one? All right, so let me stop recording.